If you're looking to start or continue your studies, Merritt College is an academic institution rich in history with outstanding academic programs to offer. Here to tell us more about the programs and how Merritt College can help you achieve your goals is the president of Merritt College, David Johnson. David, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a beautiful studio.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. You know what else is beautiful?
What's that?
Merritt College's campus.
I would agree with that.
It's so gorgeous up there in the Oakland Hills. Tell us a little bit, first of all, David, as we get started, about Merritt College and your role as president.
Okay, well, Merritt College was established in 1929. It was called the Merritt School of Business, located near Lake Merritt. It relocated to the Grove Street location in 1946. And then it combined with Laney College, fun fact, in 1953 when it was known as Oakland Junior College.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
A little partnership there. And then 10 years later, the Peralta Community College District was formed, and the Peralta Community College District comprises 4 colleges: Merritt College, Laney College, College of Alameda, and Berkeley City College, but it was called Vista back then. So I need to give a shout out to my sister colleges.
Love that.
And then from there, in 1971, it moved to its present location in the beautiful East Oakland Hills. And I've had the honor and privilege of being the president there since 2019.
There we go.
Yeah, so
it's like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah. People say we're the COVID president, trying to navigate that.
Yeah, amazing.
It's been good.
Well, we are so happy to have you here on the sofa with us today and to talk about some of the programs and the exciting things that Merritt College does have to offer. What are some of those programs that people can take advantage of heading into 2024?
Oh, so many, Olivia. I would say, well, first and foremost, let me just start with nursing. That's one of our anchor programs. We're looking to do, coming out of COVID, looking to kind of do a reset. We're looking toward having our largest entering class ever in fall of 2024. Wow. We're hiring a new faculty member in that area, and it's really an opportunity for students to spend a few semesters with us, take our classes, take the board exam, and become registered nurses. And we have about a 90 to 95% pass rate for nursing. A couple of other programs tying to some very large construction projects. We have a landscape horticulture program. We prepare students for careers in landscape architecture, floral design, nursery and greenhouse management, and cannabis education, which is seems to be very popular these days, just in terms not only of cultivation, but also the business aspect of it. We have a $40 million building that'll be open in 2025. We have another building that will be open in 2024, and that's the Early Childhood Education Child Development Program. We have one of the best, hands down, one of the best child development programs, I think, in the state. And it prepares students to become teacher's aide, you become a preschool teacher, and you can also be licensed to run your own child care, business. A couple of, I don't want to leave anything out, there's so many things.
I know.
Biosciences is really exciting. And I'm naming programs that allow students to come in and be really focused on career education, to come in, spend a few semesters with us, and be able to get a living wage job when they're done at Merritt College.
Yeah.
So related to that, cybersecurity.
That's big. So big, especially
we don't want to
in
even get into the ransoms, and so because of the environment that we live in, students can get through that program and be assured of getting a job right after. And one of the good things is we have Silicon Valley executives and managers who've come to Merritt College to support our program, teach these classes. Our students, I guess I can say this, our students have participated in hacking contests, you know, the good kind.
The good kind,
and national hacking contests, and routinely finished in the top 10% of, hundreds of colleges that participate, including some very well-known four-year colleges. So that's a great opportunity as well. I would say one more. It's really kind of close to my heart. We have an administration of justice program. About 3 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to attend the Oakland Police Academy graduation, the cadets. Merritt College provides the academic curriculum for that program, and we saw about 21 cadets graduate. And I take a lot of pride in our position and our focus on teaching the right way, policing the right way. It can be done, and giving some of the things that have been going on, in the news in the Bay Area. It's very important to have that well-trained and dedicated law enforcement. So we're really proud of that as well.
A lot of incredible programs. It sounds like a lot of things that people can take advantage of. So let's get into what are the advantages of attending a community college, David?
The advantage of attending a community college in general, but Merritt College in particular, and also the Peralta colleges, I would say two things that come to mind. First of all, the cost. You have an opportunity to take the same classes that will transfer for a fraction of the price. The California community college system is very affordable compared to some of the other systems across the state. So we have the opportunity to give students the chance to come in, take classes, knock out their first 2 years of coursework, and then transfer as a junior with not the same amount of debt that one might incur had you gone straight through. The other thing would be, I would say, related to that, for those parents who have students that are even still in high school, dual enrollment. We want students to get a running start. Ideally, take community college classes first couple of years in high school, and you might come out of high school with 30, 45 units and be close to a sophomore going into high school, going into college. So
and
that's
I actually did that. That's very helpful. I did. It's super helpful. So for all of the students out there who are wondering what David is talking about, that's actually very helpful to get a head start into college.
Absolutely. And I would say, too, that in addition to some of the career education programs I mentioned, it's a great way to take care of, again, your general ed requirements.
Amazing.
And you have a better chance, and I'm speaking as a former admissions officer, you actually have a better chance to get into some of the more competitive schools as a community college transfer student.
That makes sense.
So whether it's going to one of the CSUs, going to UC, go Bears, that's one, I'm an alum. It's really a very strategic way to approach higher education.
Incredible, very advantageous.
Absolutely.
And David, I have one more question for you quickly before I let you go. You got something going on in the spring. People can actually attend some classes for free, isn't that correct?
Absolutely. So Merritt College, COA, Laney, and Berkeley City College have a campaign. The Spring is Free campaign. So all you have to do is sign up for 6 units, and you fill out the federal aid, the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, or the DREAM Act form, and we will pay your tuition, your fees. We will provide free computers. At Merritt College, we provide free breakfast, kind of an homage to the Black Panther free breakfast program. The Black Panthers were founded at Merritt College, and it's really a great opportunity. Open access. We want to see everybody come back to campus and just get that vibrant campus feel back again. But if you just take those steps, enroll in 6 units, fill out your financial aid, we'll cover everything for you.
That's an incredible deal. I feel like it's something that people cannot pass up on. So David, thank you so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
All right.
And if you want to learn more about Merritt College, you can visit their website at merritt.edu, and we'll also have a link on our website as well.